Around the world, most countries no longer use the death penalty, but a significant number still do. Some apply it regularly. Some keep it in law, but rarely use it, and others reserve it for very specific crimes. Today, we're looking at which countries still use the death penalty, how it's applied, and why this issue remains one of the most debated topics in global justice. This is not about taking sides. It's about understanding how different countries approach the ultimate punishment. As of today, the majority of countries have abolished the death penalty, either completely or in practice. However, dozens of countries still retain it in law, and a smaller group actively carries out executions. These countries are mainly concentrated in parts of Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and a few in the Americas. China is believed to carry out more executions than any other country, although exact numbers are classified as state secrets. The death penalty in China applies to crimes such as murder, drug trafficking, serious corruption, crimes considered threats to national security. Executions are typically carried out by lethal injection or, in some cases, shooting. Because of limited transparency, China's true execution figures remain unknown, but most international organizations place it at the top globally. Iran regularly uses the death penalty and applies it to a wide range of crimes, including murder, drug offenses, certain political and religious charges. Executions in Iran are often public, which is intended as a deterrent. Iran consistently ranks among the countries with the highest number of executions per year. Saudi Arabia applies the death penalty under its interpretation of Islamic law. Crimes that can lead to execution include murder, terrorism, drug trafficking, apostasy, and sorcery under certain circumstances. Methods include beheading and, in rare cases, firing squads. The country sees the death penalty as part of its legal and religious framework. North Korea retains the death penalty for a broad range of offenses, including crimes against the state, espionage, certain economic crimes. Very little verified information exists, but defectors and international reports suggest executions still occur. Vietnam retains the death penalty, mainly for drug trafficking, corruption, murder. Executions are carried out by lethal injection, and the government releases limited public data. Iraq uses the death penalty primarily for terrorism, murder. Executions increased significantly following periods of conflict, particularly in response to terrorist activity. Egypt allows capital punishment for murder, terrorism-related crimes, crimes against state security. The country has faced international criticism for mass death sentences following large trials. Somalia actively uses the death penalty, often through military courts. Crimes include murder, terrorism, espionage. Executions are typically carried out by firing squad. Nigeria retains the death penalty, but its use varies by region. Some states apply it under civil law, while others apply it under Sharia law. Although executions are rare, death sentences are still issued. Sudan retains the death penalty for crimes such as murder, treason, certain moral offenses. Its use has fluctuated depending on political changes. The United States is the only Western democracy that still actively uses the death penalty. However, it's important to note, the death penalty is decided at the state level. Many states have abolished it. Executions occur in a small number of states. Crimes eligible for the death penalty are usually aggravated murder. Methods include lethal injection. Public opinion in the U.S. remains deeply divided on the issue. Some countries keep the death penalty in law, but have not carried out executions for many years. These include Japan, South Korea, Sri Lanka, Algeria. In these countries, executions are rare or unofficial moratoriums are in place. On the other side, more than 2/3 of countries worldwide have abolished the death penalty either by law or in practice. This includes all of Europe except Belarus, most of South America, many African nations. Abolition is often linked to human rights standards, risk of wrongful convictions, changing public attitudes toward punishment.